The White House says that the federal mask mandate for travelers is no longer being enforced after a Florida judge struck it down. Administration officials say the CDC's public transportation masking order is not in effect at this time. The White House is still encouraging mask use in mass transit settings. In a briefing on Monday, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said the administration is disappointed by the ruling. The Transportation Secretary Administration will not enforce the mask mandate on public transportation after the court's ruling. More locally, the Central Wisconsin Airport will no longer enforce a mask mandate for employees or passengers. The Central Wisconsin Airport states that it is connected to state and federal partners and will be monitoring the masking situation. The Biden administration is barring anti-satellite missile testing by the United States. The policy was announced by Vice President Harris while touring Vandenberg Space Force Base on Monday. White House officials say the move is meant to underscore its hopes of establishing new norms for military action in space. The U.S. has sharply criticized Russia and China for conducting anti-satellite missile tests. The Russian satellite missile test in November created more than 1,000 pieces of space debris, endangering American and Russian astronauts aboard the International Space Station. In her speech at the base, Vice President Harris criticized the Russian action as reckless and irresponsible. Russian forces have launched a new offensive in eastern Ukraine. The battle for Donbas marks another critical move in this conflict. NBC's Bree Jackson has more.
Russia's assault on eastern Ukraine is now underway, with heavy fighting reported in the Donbas region, a much anticipated fight. President Zelensky says his country will defend itself against Russian forces, building up for a new offensive.
The Russians are clearly trying to continue to shape that environment, set the conditions so that they can conduct longer-term military offensive operations in the Donbas.
This latest phase of attacks comes after Russia bombarded the western city of Lviv, increasing the death toll.
A campaign of terror, a campaign of brutality, a campaign of despicable aggression.
The U.S. is sending more military supplies to Ukraine, and financial punishments against Russia could escalate this week.
It's been an ongoing process, but right now you will see us continue to expand our sanctions targets.
Vladimir Putin insists sanctions are failing, claiming Russia has withstood the unprecedented financial pressure. As his relentless attacks continue, some Ukrainians are still holding out hope for peace.
We will celebrate our victory when this all ends, and we will win. I know that.
In Mariupol, a desperate battle rages on as Ukrainian forces vow to fight to the end. In Washington, Bree Jackson for NBC News.